Hey guys, so today I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Cobb Cottage down here in Florida, and we've completed the main structure of the building. It still has all the finishing work to be completed still, but I want to show you all the components that we put together so far. And we've been working on this building for off and on about 2 years, just building in stages. So I'm going to show you first the foundation. So we have a conventional style concrete foundation, which is usually my recommendation for Cobb and earthen buildings. Now what we have is a drainage system underneath this foundation. It's called a rubble trench foundation, and it acts as a stable base for the stem wall, which is this part. This is the stem wall. And it also acts as drainage, so any water coming in towards the building gets funneled into the drainage trench and channeled out away from the building towards lower ground. So the point of the stem wall is to give a stable base for the entire structure. So the stem wall keeps the walls off the ground, so protects, especially for earthen walls, it's really important that they're protected from water. So any water runoff only goes along the concrete and doesn't damage the earth wall. So this is a very conventional style foundation, concrete and rebar, and there's a lot of information on how to build those out on the internet, so I don't get into too many details on that. But then once the foundation is completed, you're ready to build the Cobb walls. So we build the Cobb walls in layers, and we go all the way around the building one layer at a time until we get to a particular height. And in this case, the first stop we made was to install the window sills. So we continue to build layers until we get to this point. We let it dry for probably a good 3 weeks so that Cobb can settle and solidify and not move if you put a heavy weight on top of it. So we poured these concrete window sills in place, and then after that continued to build the Cobb upwards. And as we started to build up, we installed the window boxes, the window framing boxes, and we braced those out so they were stable and wouldn't move, and then continued to build the Cobb upwards. And we installed window anchors. You can't see those very well. Let's get a zoom in on that. You can see that window anchor there. So it's completely embedded in the Cobb wall, so your window cannot move at all. Now let's go around this way just to get another visual here. Then as we continue to build up, we get to the lintels. So the lintels go over the windows and the doors wherever you have an opening like this, and it supports the weight of the Cobb that's above that opening. So again, in this case, we poured concrete lintels, and all of these are custom made to the shape of the walls. And then after that, continue to go up, and we poured a concrete bond beam at the top. So the bond beam acts as a level surface to attach the roof, and it also holds all the walls of the building kind of compacted together. And you'll see on a lot of rammed earth buildings especially, they'll actually have rebar coming from inside the foundation, going up all the way through the walls and attaching into the bond beam at the top. So if you want extra tensile strength in your walls, especially if you're in an earthquake prone area, that's a really good thing to do. So after the bond beam is created, then we start attaching the roof basically, and this roof is completely conventional. It's all stick framing, and we have metal sheeting on the outside. So it's a completely standard roof as far as conventional construction goes. So you'll kind of figure that out as you get into earthen building. There's a lot of components that are really just conventional, sort of like foundations and roofing. The real difference is just the wall system. So you have to figure out how everything integrates with earthen walls. So now on the inside, you can see we still have a lot of finishing work to do. We have to put in a floor, the ceiling, we have to cover these gable ends, and we need to plaster all the walls. So there's still a lot of work to do, and probably take us another couple of years off and on to finish this particular structure.